Hi, everybody. Welcome to the self-care series. My name is Mimi. Today, I'm going to be walking you through some self-myofascial release or self-massage for the outer hip and glute area. This is a common area that we get a lot of tension, either from sitting at the desk too much, walking a lot, certain activities. And when that gets tight, a lot of times we might feel it into the low back or even have some sciatica symptoms where we feel the pain running down the back of the leg a bit. So you'll need either a foam roller. These are fairly inexpensive online or like at Walmart, Target, even CVS, or other drugstores. So this one I have is all foam. It has a little bit of a give to it. Um, this one is like a medium length. They do have shorter and longer ones. I do prefer the medium to longer ones, so I have a little bit more room to work on it. They do have different ones where they're firmer, or they have, you'll see like a bunch of nubs, kind of, they almost look like a studded rolling pin. um, so you have your options there. It depends what's comfortable for your body. I also have a tennis ball. This is going to be a lot more specific and will get deeper into the muscle there. So if you're very tense or it's very tender, you might want to opt for something like the foam roller first. And then you can go in more specifically with the tennis ball. And then the third thing I have, this, I think this might be the same brand, Gaiam. They have like the yoga mats and some other self myofascial release tools. So I think this is that brand, but they have some other brands on Amazon that I've seen, or like I said, in Target and in some drugstores as well. So this guy is really nice if you have a hard time getting on the floor. You can actually use this, and I'll show you. You can use it standing or sitting in a chair rather, so you don't have to be on the floor using your core and your arms to support yourself doing these things. So I'll start with the foam roller first. We'll start on our knees here just to set up. So I just like to take my foam roller, and it does work easier if you are on carpet or on a yoga mat, just so the foam roller doesn't slide around. When you're trying to roll on it, sometimes it'll slide around on you. So you take it horizontal here, like you're gonna sit on it. Well, you are gonna sit on it. So you're gonna sit on it like a seat. And then I put my feet flat on the floor. So whichever side that you want to do myofascial release on is the one that you're gonna cross the foot over. So I'm gonna do my right side here, and I'm gonna take my hands down to the floor just so I don't lose my balance. And I'm gonna take my right foot over my left thigh so it's in this figure four kind of shape. And then what you'll do is you'll probably feel this a little bit on your tailbone right now. So to feel into that actual glute area and hip, you're actually going to lean over. Let's say you're on your right side. You're going to lean onto your right side until you're in that meaty area. And if you're very tight, you're going to feel it right away. I'm definitely feeling it. So you'll almost lean onto that glute or that hip there. And from here, you're just going to do a little slow roll until you find a tender point. I found one. And you're just going to sit, and you're going to just kind of breathe through it like we talked last time when we were rolling out the feet. Just do some breathing for 30 seconds or so, or until the tenderness subsides. And then once the tenderness subsides, you can maybe rock a little bit over on your hip a little bit more. Just make sure you're staying on the meaty area and not on your hip bone. You'll definitely feel it when you're on the bone. Just try to stay in the more meaty area. Now, like I said, using the foam roller here like this, you're definitely using your arm and your core to keep yourself up, especially if it's very tender. Um, you might even be pushing yourself up because it is tender. So I'll give you another option there, against the wall too. But this is pretty much all you do. You just want to find a spot, hold, and then once it subsides, you can move to another spot, hold. And to come off, I like to center myself again, put both my feet flat on the floor, and then I just like to slowly kind of roll off a little bit. Now, same idea, with the tennis ball. Like I said, it's going to be a lot more intense and specific and deep. So if the foam roller was too much, you probably just want to skip the tennis ball completely. Or I'll show you against the wall for that as well. So same thing, like let's say we're going to be on our right side. Our feet are flat on the floor here. We use our arms as a support at first, cross our right foot over our left thigh. And this time what I do is I lean off, if I'm massaging the right side, I lean to the left, have a little gap here, and then place the tennis ball under. And then you can start to lean onto the tennis ball that way. I feel this already, and I'm barely leaning on it. So that's just kind of giving you an idea of how intense it can be. Um, and then here you can roll with the tennis ball and find a spot, or I like to just kind of move it around here so I'm not having to lift myself too much. And then I just lean back onto it this way. Or you can lift yourself and roll. But like I said, you're gonna have to use some arm here and core. So I'll show you the foam roller first. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place, now this is gonna be different. So you can put the foam roller to start at that horizontal. So it'll look like this. Kind of put it down towards your tailbone a little bit. And then what, like I said, I'll demonstrate on the right side just for this video's sake. You'll lean onto that meaty area, and this won't have a whole lot of pressure on it. So this is really good if you're very, very tender to the touch, or very tight. You'll definitely feel this. So you'll feel it in that meaty area in the hip. And I like to kind of bend the leg that I'm rolling side on. So my right leg's gonna bend a little bit just to kind of give it some slack. And then I'm using this other leg to almost push in to the wall. So I'm leaning, like I'm leaning onto the wall here. So this one, obviously, if you have some knee issues, bending is gonna be a little hard. So like the tennis ball, you can find a spot, lean into it, hold, and then just move the foam roller. Just be very careful when you get towards the bottom, that it doesn't slip out from underneath you. I like to hold on, you can't see my left hand, but I'm holding onto the foam roller as I'm leaning onto it so I don't slip. Or you can also put it at an angle here and then lean into it that way. So you can play around with that a little bit. Here I am rolling to find a spot, but you don't really want to hold it like here. So you can just move so you're standing again. Otherwise, you're getting into like wall squats, and that's a whole exercise. we don't want to do that. We're doing recovery today. So same thing with the tennis ball. Put it against the wall, and then you'll just lean into it. Now this one's going to be a little bit more intense, of course, again. And same thing, we're just leaning and hold. Find a different spot, lean and hold. Like I said, don't lean too much. Try not to damage your drywall. But typically, you won't be leaning too hard into this if you're very tender anyway. I would say if you want to go a little bit more intense, just go onto the floor. All right, so lastly, we have this little device here. I don't really know what you're going to call it. I'm just going to call it the rolling pin. um, it does roll. There are different kinds. This one has the nubs on it. So this might feel a little bit more intense. There are ones that actually look just like a smooth, like this part all the way through, like a rolling pin. There's different ones out there. So you can kind of find one that seems like it interests you, play with it a little bit, feel it out. But I'm just going to demo this one because this is what I have. So like I said, these guys roll here. So what I do with this is I kind of grasp like behind my back, um, and then you're just going to roll it out. You can kind of get up into the back a little bit if you want, find specific areas here. You could even do the hip this way. So this is going to be the most gentle option here because when you're using your arms, it's not a whole lot of leverage because you do have to push into it. And to do that behind this way is a little difficult, I'd say, to really push in and use some pressure. But this is really nice because you can just kind of roll it around a little bit. I wouldn't do the press and hold here because it's just a lot of arm work. So this one's just nice to just kind of roll it around. So thanks for watching. I hope that really helps with your low back, hip, even into your hamstring and leg pain. I hope that you tune in next time, and I'm really excited to give you guys these tips and tricks.